Hey, like, this is like, how did we get here? How are we still going kind of moment? This feels insane, but Game 7 it is. Christmas Crew Battles Day number 2. Skyward Series AEGL bringing it to you. Grand Final spot on the line. Prize money on the line. And a Game 7 for Fisher and I. It seems like we're cursed with them in the best of ways. Who will get the advantage on Champions Field? 100x Fate or Bubble Guppies?
Interesting to see what happens here, and once again for Fate, it's not going to be Crypto in this lineup. It'll be MKO instead. Question entering game number 5, but with the clip they've been paying at, can't any longer, but a big demo, a big goal. Metallicara, 18 seconds in, going to take the lead, and what a play from the Octane. Absolutely massive. One of these teams going to have to make something happen. Metallicara hit away.
The recovery.
The bump on the way down.
MKO
trying to get it on net. Too wide.
30 seconds left to go. We've seen it all happen. 2 at the net for Bubble Guppies to keep it out. 20 left to go. MKO's gonna rush. It's gonna net. It's gonna go in. It goes to Dillerton. Bubble Guppies might have stamped their ticket to the grand finals. Can 100x Fate recover? They've got 21 seconds for us to find out. But the nice response from Ignite sends it back.
The perfect goal.
That was awesome from Verified to make the some air bumps, but not going to be quite successful. Gogger having to bodies everywhere. Goals already in. Nicely done there.
Was ready. Yep. That gives them the one story, still staying alive, still keeping it tied up with 50 seconds to go. But now Affinity Prospects, they want to break that glass slipper in 2. They send one back, and Waffles makes it 3-2.
What a goal, Affinity Prospects. Back.
First shot, not going to find it. 15 seconds left, and NSG's chances, their shots are running thin. Affinity Prospects are eyeing the grand finals. Is that the final dagger? It might be. Doomer makes it 4-2-2.
Been singing their praises all set and might have just got the clinching goal. They've done it in this time, but I don't know if they can get 2. They need something miraculous here off the kickoff.
Man's gonna lead the way. Call Red will be behind, but we'll see for how long until we get another shot. Here it comes. Here comes Red. Not gonna find it yet.
Another Academy gonna have another chance at offense here. No, hit away by Waffles. Can it be a goal? No, Command Battle. So Command Battle misses.
What a 2! Waffles. Timing is everything. The positioning is everything. We've said that a million times, right? 25 seconds to go, and we're certainly not going to count them out until the last possible second. Command Battle might be the last hope. Now 20 seconds to go, and Affinity Prospects are still hanging on. They got 15 seconds on the clock, and all they got to do is not let Unknown Academy score. Every second that goes is one closer to Affinity Prospects wearing the heavy crown. Unknown Academy down to 5, and that will be the difference. The Affinity Prospects will hold the crown. All splash, no wake. Affinity Prospects take the Riptide Cup.
I'm starting to get stressed.
This matchup has me stressed like none we've seen. Both these teams want to be here tomorrow night. They want to make it to those grand finals, and they both had interesting paths here, but it's hard not to respect the Cinderella story still staying alive, still keeping it tied up with 50 seconds to go. But now Affinity Prospects, they want to break that glass slipper in two. They send one back, and Waffles makes it 3-2. Benoit will get one, but the insurance goal from Affinity Prospects was just a bit too much to overcome. It's unfortunate for Nintendo Switching that their Cinderella story has ended, but for Affinity Prospects, they have clinched their spot in the grand finals tomorrow night. 25 seconds to go, and we're certainly not going to count them out until the last possible second. Command Battle might be the last hope. Now 20 seconds to go, and Affinity Prospects are still hanging on. They got 15 seconds on the clock, and all they got to do is not let Unknown Academy score. Every second that goes is one closer to Affinity Prospects wearing the heavy crown. Unknown Academy down to 5, and that will be the difference. The Affinity Prospects will hold the crown. All splash, no wake. Affinity Prospects take the Riptide Cup.
I just got 3 things to say. God bless our troops. God bless America. And gentlemen, start your engine!
Hey gamers! Hello! Gamers and simps alike, welcome in. It's playoffs! RLSS playoffs, to be exact. Olivett Gaming versus 3 Musketeers. My name's AnythonyMalum, and you found yourself on my stream, and I'm joined by Deelo, making his Rocket League comeback. Deelo, my friend, how's it going? Argentina's kicking.
Indeed it is, but it's definitely good to be back in the hot seat. Looking forward to seeing some good games here between these two teams, Olivett and 3 Musketeers. I mean, it's the family business on the side of Olivett, so looking to keep it in the family, looking to keep these wins coming. They've been doing absolutely great. 3 Musketeers coming off the back of a bit of a burnout, hopefully going to be providing a bit of a better showing here today, maybe taking some notes from their prior defeats. Can always take 2 L's, put them together, and make a nice W for yourself.
I always say Cinderella stories exist for a reason. There's a reason people talk about them. There's a reason the Dark Horse is the storyline. You know, you always root for the underdog. All those things exist for a reason. 3 Musketeers looking to do that, and even better to do it against your pals in Olivett Gaming. So, you know, good blood can turn to bad blood in a competitive way, and that's sometimes how you get the best games.
For sure, man. And, you know, in just the natural format of Rocket League, you have time to feel each other out, can have time to maybe try to get some digs at your friends. It's always an interesting dynamic when you know the person on the other side of the field. I mean, obviously, the team dynamic's important, but the enemy dynamic can be important as well. If you have some deep lore there, you know, you start busting some chops, get a few demos on the one person who you know might get a bit more tilted just because you have that inside trader knowledge, it can be a good advantage for you, and also is a hell of a fun time to see for us here in the commentating booth.
Yeah, just get enough demos and Solanalo, and he'll step down off of the bleachers and be ready to throw hands with the other dads in the t-ball field. That's the strategy you can take.
Or I mean, just get enough demos on him and he might like bust out the lag switch, and we've seen that unfortunately be a factor in sometimes as well. Hopefully everyone's got some solid ping on. They've got the really close distance to their routers. They're hugging it to their chests while they're also playing, because I'm not trying to see any losses here based on a disconnect here. It's been an unfortunate trend that, at least for my tenure as a Rocket League commentator, has had a bit too much of an impact. So hopefully not going to see that here tonight.
Yeah, hopefully that is the end of that. Let me know how everything sounds, everything looks, guys. Hope you liked the Kevin James cameo in the beginning to the Chicago Bulls. Had to get that in there. Had to spruce it up. Got a new scoreboard we rocking today as well. Hope you guys like that. Totally didn't spend all day on the scoreboard. Totally didn't.
Yeah, but it's for good cause there, my friend. I mean, that's how we get the big bucks to afford Kevin James as a sponsorship. And by the way, thank you, Kevin James, for making an appearance on the show. Really appreciate you. He's one of the viewers in the stream tonight, so please, everyone, try to act cool.
Actually, I have a. What if I told you my aunt is friends with Kevin James? So there's actually a lot of his.
What?
Yeah, it's kind of a hysterical runaround reference. Before we get in the game, as now the lobby is filling up. A big thank you to the actual sponsors, Deelo. You'll see them running across the
What do you
screen on
mean?
this screen, and once we're in game. My favorite, I always like to mention, MVP for the champion teams at the end of the season gets themselves a custom jersey. So thanks to all of the sponsors to keep RLS kicking. But Deelo, we are close to game time. I'm asking right
Indeed
now
we
if
are.
players are ready.
Engines getting revved up, bloods are starting to get pumping, and temperatures starting to get a bit hotter up in here. Anthony, any just grand expectations we have knowing this matchup from the get-go?
I always talk about the need to keep our eyes on Olivett and how they play off the sidewalls and how they communicate their rotations. And for Three Musketeers, I think it's score quick, Deelo.
And hopefully just going to have to be a bit of a clock race then in that case. Get yourself some good momentum from the beginning, and you might be setting yourself up for success. But I don't know. We know the capability of Solanello, not just as a solo player, but also in working with synergy in the midst of the team. But kickoff here to start it off. And it's going to be off to the races of the ball. Kicks up high. Solanello off to the side already.
Already kicking. Got to keep our eyes on I'm the Bob as well. One thing that Olivett's been going through the entirety of this season is kind of working things around, deciding on who they want to be their main people to run in, who their main rosters are. And that's one thing I expect that will be an impactful thing in a best-of-7 situation. Early on, though, no early goals, which Deelo, Anthony cast. They always got the same thing. The Malum cast, the pre-1-minute goals. It's like a curse we share.
Seems to be in this case that they're deciding to try to opt against it, but ooh, nice save there, going to amp up at least a bit of the defensive pressure here, as we see Three Musketeers having to stave off, and now having to stave off a nice demo. Good job there by Temis Prop. Let's see what all that can make of it though.
Seema, another shooter, but one thing that Seema can tend to do sometimes, that I love when I see Seema do it, is really aggressive defense. Really being the person who controls that back three-quarter field area, gets the zone, gets the prowl, plays that sort of hybrid play style that Olivett can really make work sometimes. Still 0-0 though, and honestly, nobody's taking any crazy shots either, Deelo. It's sort of a feeling out process so far too.
And that's what I was actually going to mention. You mentioned liking to see how everyone plays up the sidewalls and such, but where I'm always looking is who's in the air and who's spending more time using that boost for some nice aerial tricks, and who's going to be keeping their wheels firmly planted on the ground. Because if you have one person who's dedicated to those aerial tricks and no one can really match that energy, it just becomes a huge advantage and a huge wall to climb up if you're on the opposing side of that. And right now, Solanello seems to be the one trying to take to the skies, but unfortunately, blocked right back by Musketeers.
Sam did have a demo before. We'll see if the demo start to play a factor. Because ultimately, if you can't find your way to the net, you've got to open up a route. Solo will try to bring it to the corner, look to see if somebody can meet him halfway, get to that center field, but no one gets there. Instead, net left open, and Sam takes advantage. First goal goes the way of Three Musketeers.
Consequences of that really just got to come down to resource starvation. I mean, he had plenty of time to see it coming, but what he didn't have was enough boost. I'm the Bomb, unfortunately, has the party crashed on top of his head as he watches a long-range goal sail right in between the posts. That's going to be a 1-0 there for Musketeers.
I loved how Three Musketeers really went for the kind of unconventional play style to get their defense cooking that time. I think that might be one of the keys to keeping all of that off of their game. We'll see if they can continue it, though. Already getting closer to that halfway point, and the 1-goal lead, you never know with Riptide. It's either a 7-skull, I mean, yeah, it could be 7 skulls, 7-score barn burner of a bloodbath, or it's a 1-0 really close game the entire time with an overtime looming. We'll see which it is this time, as now Seema Prus will take it and try to bring it towards that corner again, but actually lets it go for Soul to follow up, but instead, Three Musketeers took advantage.
Bit of a stall here in this corner. We're just playing some aerial acrobatics. Solanello starting to plot it down to the field, but with no boost. Not quite having much resource to bring it much further in the corner. Babam tries to sail on in with an unfortunate tap and miss. Now, being brought back into the midst, this could be problematic.
Problematic indeed. The soft little tapper in right as it was brought to the net makes it 2-0 for Three Musketeers. Luck played that perfect, and Sam and Saturn were both right there ready to follow up. And all of that kind of got caught looking at the net. Remember, Three Musketeers coming into this, they are the underdogs in this scenario. All of that is standing at the top of the mountaintop and looking down. And Three Musketeers, so far, it's working. The climb is happening. Even if just game one, it does set the precedence for the series. Looking for another one. Sam up! Gets followed up by Luck, but blocked away. Not going to find it this time.
Pinball action there, went off the corner post and then right back off of the car wheels and managed to somehow find its way out. But now this could be trouble. Solonal setting it up for the mid. Doesn't quite find it, though. And all of that trying just to get some manner of momentum into this fight, but lacking boost once again. They're just going to keep it sent down. Musketeers putting on offensive pressure that has been just really unabated this entire game. I don't know what all of that can really do to stand up to it at this point with 1 minute left.
It does feel impressive. There's offensive pressure, there's defensive control, and there's a lot of boost secure that we've seen Three Musketeers doing, which leaves no room for Olivett to do much of anything, and they're running out of time to find these 2 goals. Sam trying to keep it in that corner as well, just to waste time. The shooters, Seema and Bob, haven't had openings. Solo, who's usually the pesky one at the net, hasn't even been able to go to the net. A chance now for Olivett on some offense, and instantly Sam finds control. Keep your eyes on Saturn, who's looking to be the one to hang out midfield and follow up. But he wasn't ready for the speed. Does get a tap, but Seema has a shot. Solo for the follow, but Luck for the block! 30 seconds now and still 2-0.
Just fantastic defense there by the Musketeers. It seems that every time except for that last one, Solonal, when he gets up to the goal, is already a bit out of juice, and you got to make sure that if that's one of your prime offensive players, as I believe Solonal is, you have to make sure he's prepped up for anything on the offensive end. And this could be another one. 3 makes the Sam shot, and that's going to be a 12-second left. Quite the mountain for all of that to climb.
That might just be the avalanche that makes game 1 too tough for Olivett Gaming to come back in. It's a best of 7, so game 1, you know, you don't have to let it destroy you, but I'm sure Olivett have come out and met a surprise here from Three Musketeers. With 5 seconds left, do you get one more goal through, one more bit of confidence? Not quite. Olivett Gaming will try to just end the shutout. Ball, not over till ball lands, but ball will land, and game 2 will be on the horizon. And Three Musketeers come out and they shock the world.
I mean, that was a statement right there. That was absolutely a statement right there to make sure that they're saying, hey, we've come back, prepped, juiced up, we're ready to take on the champs, and they're doing a fantastic job at it. I don't know, Anthony, as far as battle plan strategies, what do we think we need to see changed up from the members of Olivett?
Well, one thing that I kind of touched on this very slightly in the very beginning of game number 1, Olivett have been doing a lot with their roster. A lot of swaps throughout the season. S-Class Wizard has been coming in and out with Bob. They try different combinations. I would assume whatever you run out in game number 1, that's probably what you feel the most confident in. That's where logic would send you. But going into game number 2, I think it's time, if you're going to take a risk and mix things up, this is not an elimination one. You still got games to work with. Do it here and see how it works out.
That's a very fair point. And, I mean, hopefully, like you said, not going to let this one game throw them too far out of their groove. Oh my gosh, groove. But I've been thrown out of my groove just by trying to say that word. But hopefully going to let that still be maybe a bit of a lesson. Not too much of a defeatist attitude adopted by the members of Olivett as we take the kickoff. But the defensive powers shown by Musketeers, and more importantly, just their preposition and positioning for that ball. That one goal they had where both members were positioned in the exact place to just tippy-tap it on in is a prime example of that. And now Solonel trying to take 2 with Mach 4 speed. Unfortunately, a bit off the mark. Oh no, this could be trouble.
Saturn got lucky there with the way it worked out. It was almost a disaster for Three Musketeers to start things out, but now they've got control, and Sam's bringing it through and has backup in the form of Luck sitting at the midfield with Saturn. S-Class Wizard, though, from the sky! Solo's there! Bring it in from the corner! It's 1-0 Olivett Gaming! They came out ready, Deelo.
A bolt from on high. That's the fancy flying moves you want to see from these people on the side of Olivett. And that's what I like to see. Three Musketeers have really been doing a good job with their wall play, but we haven't seen them take to the sky in that kind of footwork, well, air work. Olivett going to try to show them a few moves, and that's going to prove very effective now with a less than 1 minute goal. We're finally seeing the Anthony curse back in action.
There it is. I was looking for it. I was like, where's my pre-1 minute goal? It's kind of my thing. Finally does come through. And S-Class Wizard, I gotta say, what that probably does for vibes in the comms, Deelo, is significant. And the follow-up, the second goal already from Bob? Come on.
I do indeed think the vibes have been restored. Olivett are trying to put Three Musketeers on a toothpick, call it lunch, because right now it's looking to be a completely different team. I don't know, it's like Space Jam. All the power in the ball got sucked out of Three Musketeers and put right into the hands of Olivett. They're the Monstars right now. Musketeers got to mount some sort of defense back, but with an open goal, it's not looking to be a good case for them.
Come on and slam. Wow, 3-0 now for Olivett Gaming. A totally new Olivett Gaming. You know, a few weeks ago, I was casting Olivett. I believe it was with Kingfisher, Deelo, and we were talking about Olivett Gaming. They're the Mafia family, you know? It's the family, you know, welcome to the Olive Farms type of beat. And for me now, I'm looking at it more like the warehouse, the Olivett rave house, just the crib rocking right now, getting pumped up in game number 2, coming out, making it 3-0.
This is Season 2 Sopranos, man. They're getting whacked, and now Three Musketeers having to try to put on their own offensive, but on the bomb, just going to stifle it in its place with a fantastic demo. A nice power play could get them in a better position to get a 4th goal, but to be blocked out. Another attempt here by Musketeers, unfortunately, a bit off the mark.
How many shots like that are going to happen in a row? 2 times where the ball kind of got stopped in front of that Olivett net. That gets the nerves going, and that's why they kept 2 back in the form of Solo and Bob. Later Bob gets popped on the way through. Deelo's talking about power plays. There was one there for Three Musketeers, but they could not take advantage because of the ball pressure. And now Bob from the roof, not going to find it here. Solo will try to bring it to the corner and look for a center for Class Wizard, but Sam wisely denies it. And Class Wizard not in the best of spots, but makes it work somehow. It's not allow an open net. Plus, with Bob getting back quick, now it's a new opportunity for Olivett Gaming. If they can get past a 50 of luck to Class Wizard for the block, save is good. Still 3-0.
I mean, Luxter had a good setup there, but not any speed to back it up, and the velocity is what you need, and this might be a good setup off the backboard. Comes out the backboard, the good block from the Musketeers. They can breathe a sigh of relief, at least for that one.
Wow! Every shot like that, even with it being 3-0, they're all so close. They're all so intense. It's kind of ridiculous so far. Olivett Gaming, I would imagine, are trying to get one more safety goal before slowing down the pace, because usually at a 3-0 lead, you see teams try to waste some clock. That's not the case here. Olivett's playing like it's a 0-0 game still, which could work out for Three Musketeers. They can find the openings through it. But the problem is, it's car-on-car coverage so far. There's no openings whatsoever. Find a situation where somebody's not in a 50 right now. There is none. And the Three Musketeers have got to force some kind of opening.
The question is, what do you decide to play that through? They haven't been upping the demolition game so far. There's a good shot on goal. I'm the bomb. Just nice chip up from outside the box, and that's going to put them up 4-0. 1:39 left on the clock. It's still time, but is it time enough, or is it just more time to be embarrassed?
Yeah, that's a tough one there to let go. I mean, that shot from Bob, a lot of confidence behind it, and obviously a tough block from Three Musketeers, but I don't think it's, in a weird way, I don't think it's embarrassment. I don't think it's too worrisome for Three Musketeers. I think you work with the fact that you've been answered directly. You go through, you do things like this. You say, okay,
bingo,
game's not over. We can still go through. We can still make our goals. You know, taking a bit of a peek, it does seem like Solo kind of set up there to get Three Musketeers on the goal on the scoreboard. But point stays the same. Three Musketeers can look at this as all right, we got ourselves a ball game.
Being on the boards does wonders for the confidence sometimes, and now renewed vigor here on the side of Three Musketeers as they try to launch themselves, but you got to make sure that your plays and your velocity are kept in check, because now Solnell soars through the air off the backboard. Here comes the setup, but a brilliant save for the Musketeers. They send it right back downfield.
I really like Nova's positioning there, not being afraid to go for the defense in the face of so much offense. Sam trying to follow up. It's still not actually impossible to come back in this game with still 1 minute to go. Just the more seconds that tick by, the least likely it gets. Nova will try to make some kind of play open. Looks like Three Musketeers want that corner. They want to get to the corner, get it clear above the goal, and have someone drop down. That's their shots that are working, but Olivett is doing a really good job of competing in that corner by not breaking their coverage. And it's making it impossible, and instead it sets them up! Almost another one for Bob, but not going to find it quite yet.
30 seconds on the clock, and it's looking dire, but hey, we've seen stranger things happen in this game before. Nice demo there to just put Three Musketeers in a bit of a worse position for the next few. It's what you said. You have the corner shots being put up here by the Musketeers, but if you only have one angle of approach, Olivett stand all of the much to gain to just block that one manner of engagement. From the other side, Olivett have taken up lob shots, long shots, short shots, chip shots, and all have seemingly been going to great success. And indeed, Olivett going to display that as they take home this game 2 after a few more seconds. Like you said, ain't over till the ball lands, but there shall be Olivett 4-1.
Ended up being 4 shots that Olivett needed to get the victory here in game number 2. That does tie up series so far. And it's kind of got that feeling, that inkling of being a really close one so far, Deelo. DFH Stadium is up next, and if I am the Three Musketeers, the key for me in game 3, and I'm curious to hear your thoughts, not necessarily make an insane bounce back and dominate all of that. It's not let all of that get away with this again.
I would definitely agree with that. I mean, I feel like that's what Olivett were feeling coming from game 2 after taking that 3-0 in the first place, but it seems that, like you mentioned in game 1, it's about reading. They felt them out. They've read that book before. They've returned it to the library. They're not charging late fees. They're going to be fine now. So you have to make sure that you maybe rent out a new book here. Get some new plays in your back pocket, because the members of Olivett show that they are varied, they're diverse, their bag of tricks is deep. Three Musketeers need to have a few more in order to make sure they can get back into this game.
As soon as the camera works with us, we're going to have an exciting game number 3, that's for sure. There it is. It woke up.
Heyo.
And already, Three Musketeers looking for it, but Class Wizard with a big class save that time and able to get it through. Now Sam will look for it, sets it up off the top when it drops down from the crossbar. Is there follow-up? Not quite. But Three Musketeers keeping that offensive pressure on here early on. Finally, it's broken, and Olivett look to see what they can do, but there's no openings to be had, no clearing to be had, thanks to a quick response there from Three Musketeers.
But it's again into the corner that they're shooting this up, and that's where S-Class Wizard immediately went, expecting where the ball would go and positioning appropriately for it. They need to have some better positioning here, right off the crossbar, the backboard. This could be where they're looking for a nice centered shot, but already intercepted by Olivett. They move it right back down the field. Now they're going to try their hand at the Three Musketeers' signature play. Set up, but bat away.
Bat away, indeed. These corners, they're the keys. It's becoming more and more clear. You know, you can always kind of see what a team's interested in. Are they interested in playing for the ceiling? Are they going for constant 50s? Are they looking for a smoke screen? What might it be? And the lower play you go, it's advice I've heard from others. The lower the play you go, the more kind of clear path you can follow. You're looking for not necessarily the prediction, but what's right in front of your eyes. And that's the gameplay they've got. That's why they're getting stuck in the corner, stuck at midfield, stuck at the net. Is trying to break through and find somebody who can break through. Maybe it's Bob. Gets it off the crossbar with the alley-oop to Solo, who can't find it. Wizard looked for it, couldn't find it either. Saturn able to get control, props it up. Class Wizard will go to keep it away from the net. It's a good clear, but Nova follows back up. Class Wizard pulls through massive for Olivett.
I'm liking the aerial defense I'm seeing here from Olivett. They also made sure to position themselves where, even despite having lost a lot of that boost, I'm landing in a position where I'm still a defensive utility. That's fantastic work. Now Nova trying to put that pressure back on. Ooh, big swing and a miss. This could be a bit of an issue now, but not positioned quite yet. They're moving for the corner again, but no one's prepared to move it any further. Olivett going to be able to stave this one off for now.
A bit of a safer offensive play that time for Three Musketeers, keeping Nova in that net, worried about the ball breaking through and getting cleared across the pitch, like we've seen Olivett do a few times, for accidental goals. Three Musketeers know they can't afford quite this time. Ooh. Saturn! Oh man, was that a close one. Solo with a quick cat-like reflexes to get a block through. T-ball dad not this time, and Olivett keep it 0-0 for the moment. The Three Musketeers are still working, trying to find their opening. Sam not going to go for the contest, knowing Nova's back there. Nova's got boost and a dream, but runs into Class Wizard, who shuts it down.
Unfortunate to see your dreams crushed like that, but now Babam's got big dreams of his own. It's going to be a goal 2 minutes in, but not going to be afforded quite yet. Now with 2 minutes remaining, still 0-0.
Wow.
But a nice attempt there going to be put up. I'm liking the plays here I'm seeing from Three Musketeers, but S-Class Wizard's not quite the fan. Tries to send it in solo. Solo now off the corner.
Olivett are finding themselves with much more boost this time, and it's showing. The shot will set up. Bob to the air, but Sam is there first. So the boost control from Olivett not going to make the difference on that shot. Nova will try to run with Three Musketeers. They're going to try to create some kind of new opening, some new form of attack. We're still tied 0-0, and the clock is still ticking here in game number 3. A race back on the net, Sam v. Bob. Bob will get the tap up to Luck. It's an own bump there from Olivett. Will not result in an instant shot coming through. Solo looks for the clear. Class Wizard has it, but they left the net open, and here comes a shot, but it's going to be off. Not perfectly off the ceiling. Solo gets demoed, so no clear. Opening. Class Wizard will try to make one. He gets bumped out, and now Nova gets control back for the orange side.
Solo now spawned back in a good position to actually provide some utility despite the lack of boost. Babam trying to make something happen off this wall, but Singlers at a bit of a stalemate here despite the ball being hit a lot. Not much forward progress and momentum being had there. There's some momentum being delivered straight by Solanala for a nice demo, but not the one to follow it up. Sam's off the board too. What can they make off this? S-Class Wizard puts it up, but no one's there to follow it up. Tries to put it off the back board.
Solo?
Who's there for it? It's going to be a big follow. Not quite in just yet.
Bob looked forward to it, wasn't there. Now just 30 seconds standing. S-Class Wizard will try for another, but Sam is there again. The clock's still ticking and nobody's found a home still. Bob will run into Sam. Now the ball's up. Olivett's got to be quick. Solo is quick enough. It gets it back to the corner on Three Musketeers where Nova is waiting. Watch for what Nova will try to do with Luck. Luck going to try to come from the top of the net, but it doesn't get there. Instead, it gets in the corner. Sam has an opening, but he runs in and gets bumped away. Is it overtime? It's up in the air. One more shot unless it lands. It does land. It's overtime.
It was just a lot of big hits. A lot of big hits, though, with no real afterthought. And that's what's going to cost you. You need to have someone set up in the right position afterwards. S-Class Wizard trying to do exactly that, but it's knocked up once again by Three Musketeers to buy them a bit more breathing room in time.
This feels like one of those games that's going to be the exhausting game of the series and maybe decide how it goes. We're in overtime, and it's going to be either a long one or a quick one. There's no in-between today. Luck trying to make it quick, but it gets stuck in the corner. Solo with the clear over the head of Sam, but Solo can't get it away from that midfield. Going to be up to Bob to be the one to do it. Now S-Class will rotate through, has Solo as well for backup. It's a good spot for Olivett, but they've got no momentum on the ball to make it happen. They're kind of stuck right now, unable to make a direct shot. It gets knocked around to Luck, to the air, to the blue side, but Solo will be able to clear it out.
A lot of boost wasted on that, though, and not having too much available. They're a bit starved at the moment. That corner boost just popping up, but having to prioritize the ball instead. Could be troublesome here. You're having to catch back up, but Nova knocks it back into center field and grants themselves a bit more time. Now Luxter going to move it off the corner. Sets up for any potential teammates. Who's around?
Oh, man, Sam was close on that one, but Bob, the hero for Olivett on that play, keeping it tied up still. 1 minute 20 into overtime, and we're no closer to a winner. Nova can't get it off the ceiling, and Sam could not follow up. It's a race back, control the boost, keep S-Class from the shot. Sam reads it perfect, able to control it, slow it down. Bob will look for the shot, it'll bounce off. Solo's resetting from mid, has S-Class with him as well. So this is a tough one for Three Musketeers. They got to be quick on it, Deelo. Solo with a shot, not going to find it. Too close to Nova. The demo, it's on target. It's up now. It's blocked still. We're still tied. Solo, no, not quite.
A big pinch. They're going to send it right on back to S-Class Wizard, but now further back in center field, S-Class does manage to beat that one out all the way from half center field. Does get it in and peeps out Three Musketeers in 2 minutes of OT.
What did I say? Olivett Gaming off the sidewalls. Olivett Gaming off the sidewalls. Olivett Gaming win off the sidewall from S-Class Wizard. They take game number 3. An exhausting game number 3. We still got a heck of a lot of games to go.
If they keep playing like that, it's certainly going to be the case. I mean, that was a very evenly pitched game. And compared to what we saw in 1 and 2, where it was very dominant on either side, it's interesting to see, and I think very poetic, to have it now be ending up a very even punch for counter punch match. It seems that maybe each team has the download on each other, and now they're trying to start to execute on that and implement some counter strategies, make sure to set some traps. I'm liking the plays here. Unfortunately, Three Musketeers just weren't able to keep up those walls for too long.
They weren't indeed. Looks like EA is trying to shut us down. An EA program popped up and it decided to slow everything down. Give me 2 seconds
Nice.
here.
it's only a game. EA Sports. But it's going to be interesting now to see as we kick it up into game 4. Now we are on that elimination benchmarker, and it's going to be a bit more scary. Three Musketeers having to recognize, hey, we're in the hot seat now. We can no longer afford to make those kind of mistakes. And indeed, going to try to start off with some big pressure, but now flipping back, buyer's remorse as Olivett take to the offensive.
They do. They take to the offensive, Deelo, and as I try to fix out our lagging problems, you're going to be taking us through it here in-game. And I'm liking so far what I'm seeing from Olivett, but they got to keep up what they love to make work.
And what they're making work right now are those side shots, Anthony, so hopefully going to be seeing more of that come through as Solonel bats it right back away. Luxter a bit off the mark in terms of the defense, and now they're in a bit of a sticky situation. Sam going to try to get them out of it, but bats it right into the midst of the members of Olivett Gaming milling about, but only Solonello is in the back to receive, and not quite in a good position to actually make anything of it. Now it's looming above. This could be a bit of an issue. Bob is off the mark, but the members of the Three Musketeers showing they don't quite have their wings just yet. A big swing and a miss there as they try to sail in after, and Bob with a nice subtle hit knocks it right into the goal after a bit of a slow roll. Olivett going to put themselves up 1-0 in less than a minute.
Bob gets the goal, and the stream gets back going. Let me know if it's fixed up. Hopefully EA Play doesn't try to sabotage us anymore, but Olivett with a much-needed goal here in-game. Number 4 to get their comfort rolling through. It's gonna allow Three Musketeers to draw another game out, and oh boy, that demo almost saved it, but no, Olivett able to find a second goal. In game number 3, Deelo, what I think was one of the keys for Three Musketeers is they shut down the shooting of Olivett. There wasn't any crazy. We talked about that sort of stalemate. We saw stalemates in the corners, by the net, at midfield, and all of a sudden it just kind of gets cleaned up. And we get our overtime. In this game, already 2 goals, looking for another one, and it just keeps Three Musketeers from finding that rhythm of make it their game.
And right there, I think this might be a bit of wear and tear showing as Nova tried to take to the offensive, but literally had no one on the follow-up. Even if he was able to move the ball further down the field, wouldn't have had anyone available to set up a real good attempt at a shot. But now Nova having a good goal, trying to dribble it on in, but unfortunately, keeping it too low to the ground was not quite able to make too much off it. Anthony, you observed the fact that when you have the lower divisions, it's a bit more low in terms of what you see being pulled out of the bag of trips, and also I'd argue a bit low in terms of what we see from elevation. All these members are really trying to keep their boots on the ground, which makes sense, of course, but when it comes to Olivett, it does seem they're a bit more adept in terms of their fancy flying. Might be showing it right now. Solonello goes in!
Ooh. Well, it's exactly what you said. It's lower in terms of elevation because if you don't feel like you can make the perfect shot from the air, you can't take it because if you're in the air doing flips, looking hot, that's all well and good. But now there's not a member on the ground making the plays, making the blocks, something we've seen Solo do, something we've seen a lot of S-Class and Bob make happen. And same thing can be said for Three Musketeers. Saturn constantly is able to make those great saves off of the side of the net, dropping through on any shots that might come from either a lob or the ceiling. That's kind of where it comes from. It's just playing with the skill set you have to make it the most flexible. Bob able to control it, but not quite clear it. Thankfully, Solo was there.
Here's some aerial tricks being shown by Sam. Gonna have to load that PNG up. Seems like your internet server crashes. Unfortunately, he falls back down to the ground, but setting up for Nova off the backboard. Batted away there by Solo, who has no qualms with taking to the skies. Batted once in by Sam, has the hit, but doesn't have the control like you mentioned, Anthony. Pabam trying to contest.
You said internet service, they had me looking at my bit rate, so thanks for that. gave me a secondary panic.
Not trying to rub salt in the wound. And these members of the Musketeers, they try to make their way back on in to the lead. 1-2. A nice slow roll there. Luxter puts it up.
Such a great lob over the head of Solo. I mean, I'm sure Solo is smacking the desk about that one, but that's the kind of shot you need. Not every shot has to be the highlight reel. Not every one needs to be the RLSS clip of the week. Sometimes you just need a goal. And Three Musketeers needed a goal. Now the game feels much more attainable. 1 goal at 1 minute and 35 seconds is totally doable if you're Three Musketeers. You just got to keep it out of your side. S-Class bringing it to the corner where Solo is lying in wait. Sam denies the boost, which will help keeping Solo from taking an aggressive shot. A 50 with Bob, and it ends up on the Olivett side. Class Wizard with the race to it, but will run into a lot of orange over the head of one. Nova's waiting. That's going to be a setup for a perfect shot for Nova, who sends it in and ties it up. That's why you read the whole map, because man, was that gorgeous. That pass was laid out from a light year away. Nova off the wall to himself into the net.
You can't see it right now, but I'm saluting. Manages to get that goal from the grave. That's some real American sacrifice we want to see here. Well, Musketeers, French sacrifice. Good job there to Nova, and ending up in literally a supernova as he explosively gets that goal. Solanello trying to return the favor with a minute in. They don't want OT to happen once again. That was quite the battle of attrition. S-Class trying to make it happen, but not able to succeed. Uh-oh.
Whoa, uh-oh, denied from Luck, but now Class Wizard will be the one to follow up and has Bob waiting to attack from midfield, but gonna go underneath. Now it's a rush back for Olivett. Solo gets there in time, but that was a dangerous one. That's the risk of those shots. It was almost the biggest issue for Olivett. It was almost the go-ahead goal for Three Musketeers, but now they've got something to work with. They've got momentum on their side. Olivett are still trying to recover. Saturn with the dribble back to Sam, but Solo pulls through.
What a spoiler. What a rude man right there. That was fantastic defensive play. 2 times Solo saves you, but is he around this time? You can't have him. Every single defensive play he needs. Novo knocks off the side. Uh-oh, though. There's a fast break coming in from Olivett. We got 4 seconds on the clock. Will they get it?
It's in the air. One more shot. It will be passed down, but Wizards there. Overtime. It is, yeah, it was a dribble through the suspension bars there. That was crazy. It's unfortunate it doesn't work out, but it does give us our second OT in a row here in this round of 16 series, and it's turning out to be a banger between Olivett and Three Musketeers. Class Wizard off the top. Bob won't bomb it home. Luck going to be able to block it. Solo will run to a midfield. Watch Class Wizard on the race back to get the block from Sam. Did get there in time, but now boost for Olivett is in a great spot to get recovery, to get denial of Three Musketeers, to bring it through. Solo to himself! Off the side for the game!
No boost, no problem. Solanello says, I can solo that one. Defense, offense, it don't matter. This player is a threat to behold. Brings it in for Olivett, going to be a nice 3-1 set.
Oh, man. We got ourselves a game, Deelo.
That was fantastic on their part, man. I mean, that was just good play. That was just good play. Solanello really came in clutch there on the defense. You know everyone's got to be giving him his laurels for that one, but in terms of strategy there, where were we just not seeing Musketeers pull it together that they were able to make that comeback? They mounted it, but they weren't able to quite finish the job.
Everybody breathe. Everybody breathe. That's one of those games, you know. It's they really get away from you, and they kind of get you going. It's I don't know how to explain it. Oh, sorry, I confused players.
All good, friendo.
We're good. We're caught up. I can chat with the players for those who don't know, and I kind of panicked them with our big issues earlier, thanks to EA. But we're recovered now. We got gaming ahead of us, and we're ready to cook. Neo Tokyo is up, Deelo. Game 5. Always that final tipping point, you know?
Yeah, now they really are going to be, I mean, it's a fancy light show as well, but really, it's just rudimentary brass tacks. Musketeers got to get down to the basics and put balls in hoops. Well, in goals.
The hoops would have been fun, though.
They have that as an option here in this game, but we're not playing casuals. We're here all serious, all business, all wizard, S-Class trying to make something happen for the team. Solanello says, I don't even need you, but actually please help me out with this because I'm having a bit of trouble. And indeed is going to be obliged. Sam tries to take to the defense, but with no boost, has no fuel left in his tank. Tries to loop back around, but before he can, Olivett already on the move. Nova can send it on downfield.
And there's the shot. There's the goal from Nova after bringing it downfield. An early 1-0 start for Three Musketeers, and that has to feel good. A couple games in a row now where it feels like Olivett's been getting the better at kind of the both ends of the spectrum. You know, they get the overtime victory, then they get the early goals and another overtime victory. So coming out, getting a clean goal and getting a better start is really important for Three Musketeers.
And I gotta say, honestly, that might have just been a bit of sleepy defense. Uh-oh, that'd be sleep behind the wheel right now. Nice. As Three Musketeers position themselves perfectly to make sure that was an iron wall defense, now sending it right back down. Nova, feeling a bit big for his britches, going to take a big step forward, but unfortunately stifled by the members of Olivett. S-Class is doing a great job positioning properly. Very careful plotting play. It's put up, but no one's there to follow it up.
That was a really clean shot from Class Wizard. Olivett's been getting them cleaner and cleaner the more games have gone on. For Three Musketeers, they're seemingly more in a place of trying to keep their pressure, but they've been caught with an open net and a fast break now for Olivett. That Class Wizard knows to take advantage of, and that ties it up 1-1.
That was just, simple, good play. You had the readiness there. You didn't have enough resources, again, from the members here, all the Three Musketeers, to get back into goal quickly enough. And they're treated by a nice goal for it. 1-1 with about 4 minutes left on the clock. Must be noted as well, Seamus Prop back in the fight. Have to wonder if that might indicate a return to the aggression of the days of old, where Seamus Prop was getting demo after demo. For a chance, that's a new strategy here from Olivett.
I like it. I like the lore of Seema being the blood hunter for Olivett Gaming. Mafia
He's a barbarian
family.
in the D&D game.
Yeah, Mafia family. Everyone.
I mean,
every
we also
Mafia
have
needs a hitman.
Yeah, if you're Wizard, you got your Barbarian. I don't know what Solonalo would be, just maybe, I don't know, Ranger, the way he just snipes in these goals, but the party's ready to go questing.
I could get behind the idea of a Mafia D&D game, Deelo.
A Mafia D&D game would be pretty good. Sopranos already has their own video game, but I think we could maybe make a bit of an improvement off the 2D fighter they had going on. But Three Musketeers trying to game a little bit on their own here, despite all of that saying no. Asking, are you winning, son? Musketeers can't quite say it just yet, but they are still in this game. They still have some tricks up their sleeve. Gonna set it on back, but S-Class Wizard, once again, poised and ready. Seems that he's been really deciding to calculatingly position himself in wait rather than be making those proactive steps.
You said the key word when I think of Olivett Gaming, it's calculated. And we haven't seen as much in this game. For that first goal, Class Wizard almost able to find a second. But we are starting to see them take it a bit slower. Look for those deeper angles on the field. Try to go coast to coast, net to net. And Olivett, when they can get that centered up, when they make those plays happen, that's when they're at their best. Nova will bring it from the ceiling, but Seema reads it well, gets patient, but it's a shot from the corner, blocked from Class Wizard. Still tied up, but Three Musketeers are making their play. Sam will be ready for it at midfield. We'll get control back. Look to see where he brings it. Nowhere. Solo able to find it and send it back across.
I am loving the defensive play from Olivett right now. Liking this offensive play too. Solonalo puts it up, but unfortunately didn't have the momentum as it lingered too far in the air for anyone to quite do much about it. Off the backboard now. Send his props in position. He's bloodthirsty. He's hungry for a goal. 2-1 for Olivett.
Seema was able to be the one to get the better of it. We saw a few attempts there to make the shots happen, and we talked about the elevation. Olivett tried to do it for the first couple of shots there. Didn't work out. Seema takes a simpler approach, waits for it to be on the comeback from dropping off the ceiling, and makes a shot from there, makes it work, gets it through. 2-1 now. Three Musketeers need to make their gameplay happen now. Luck will be waiting, but goes underneath of it. Nova couldn't get a read, has to reset, but is able to do it in time to get the save. Somehow. I don't know how Nova reset in time to make that happen.
But all the members right now are starved for boost. They need to retreat on back. They managed to get some scraps just now, but it's already been a bit too late. Now having to be put back on the offensive end, and this could be troublesome as S-Class Wizard makes a goal up here from nowhere.
And all of a sudden, it's getting tense. You're feeling that possibility of Olivett Gaming moving on in the RLSS playoffs. They see it. They got the blood in their eyes. They got the Mafia surrounded. They got Tony Soprano, who's obviously a barbarian. They got everything they need in their toolbox. Three Musketeers, Deelo. They got to get the swords. They got to get the cute hats on, and they got to figure out their end of the deal if they want to force this to a Game 6, to a Game 7. They're running out of time.
It's looking rough. I mean, at this rate, Three Musketeers are going to get whacked like that Tom did in Season 3, and at that rate as well, S-Class Wizard once again able to make a goal. Just pull it out of a magic hat, why don't you? Fantastic work from the grave, too. Once again, the sacrifice we want to see from these members takes a little page there from Nova Saturn's book.
I know these guys like to go back over VODs, and I can't wait for them to hear you squeeze out the Dom in Season 3 line right before the shot.
I think it was Season 3. I might be wrong on that if I'm being completely
you were
truthful.
you were very put on the spot. You know, not your fault. You gave it your all. You never had time.
And right now, all of that are giving it their all, certainly. As we set up for another offensive, the salvos of shots they're putting up here as Luxor tries to make something happen, but once again, you get to the end of the pitch and you're out of juice. Can't do much with that, and 30 seconds, we're almost out of game.
3 shots in 25 seconds. I have, in fact, seen it, but it's tough. It gets tougher the more time you lose. Solo will try to just slow it down. You see the slow play. Draw all the boost out. Already down to 10. Three Musketeers are seeing their season potentially come to an end after a war with their buddies over in Olivett. This game, this series, the advancement of the playoffs goes to Olivett Gaming.
Much like the New Jersey crew up against Phil Leotardo and his mobsters. It was a good fight, but they just didn't stand a chance, unfortunately. Capo's going to be put down in their place, but not for nothing. They did do a very good showing there. They had them on the racks for quite a few of those moments, 2 OTs in a row, and they were some good plays to behold there on the side of the Three Musketeers.
Well, you know, Sam said it best. They put up a fight indeed. Three Musketeers went down swinging with Olivett Gaming, which is not to be underlooked in a scenario like that, in a game like that. But ultimately, Olivett does pull through. In Deelo, we get to hear what was going through the head of Olivett Gaming. We're going to start with Solonalo, so we're going to head on down and get some words from old Solo, my favorite T-ball
Huzzah!
Hello, Solo, my favorite T-ball dad. How's it going? Congratulations.
What's going on?
I like to always to reference it, the T-ball dad. That's my go-to. I have to always make sure I mention the bit. But congratulations, that was a tough one. Three Musketeers really came out swinging, and you know, I know you guys were there was a lot of positivity before the games, a lot of hype up if Tommy was able to join tonight. I know he would have said a lot of LSP, but you guys really had good blood going into this game. Did it make it all the more fun to play such a competitive series?
Yeah, it's always fun to play competitive series, especially after game 1. They kind of knocked us off our rocker on that one. You know, I was getting pretty frustrated, to be honest with you. But we were able to make some necessary adjustments and came out with the victories thereafter.
You say adjustments, and one thing that you guys, every time I've talked to you, I bring up the same stuff, and I mentioned it in the beginning of game number 1. You guys do a lot with your rosters, and you continued that, and you stuck with that going through. What were the roster moves this time? I know you guys might be a little bit hesitant to talk about it being in playoffs and strategy, but SEMA felt like we called him the hunter on stream, the Mafia hitman, go through, demo them out, get the aggression
He's
on.
Sylvia.
And
He's Sylvia.
Yeah, and Bob is your center field crazy shot person who can get back to the net seemingly with no boost and no wheels and be able to make plays happen. What's the logic there?
Honestly, the logic was S-Class's computer was messing up early.
God dang it.
So we couldn't play him the first game, and so we had to play SEMA Prus, which wasn't a bad thing. That's not a shot at him. But and then we lost the first game. S-Class's computer was working well, and so we just brought him in. That was honestly the logic.
That's some good strat. That's some good strategy.
Deelo, whatever you've got for him, I'm sure you've got your own laundry list.
Oh, for sure. I mean, Solo, one, like Anthony said, big up for the win. Hard fought. Y'all played great out there. Have to wonder, game 4, man, when you come sailing in like a lunatic from field left and you save those 2 goals that would have cost the game, is your mentality more, let's freaking go, I'm the best? Or is it more like, okay, chill, let's reset memento, let's get ourselves in pace and get this goal so this OT doesn't have to last a second longer?
I remember what you're talking about, and I feel like I was just in the right time, right part of the rotation, getting into that. No, it felt like I was a freaking barbarian who just raged and rolled a nat 20 or something like that.
For real, man!
It was crazy.
Yeah,
So
you rolled for initiative, bro. You like, that was genuinely insane, because camera wasn't even focusing on you. You just came in, swept the ball away like a bolt from on high. It was truly impressive work. So have to imagine you were just gassing yourself up in your brain like, oh my god, I'm the best player of all time. Like, genuinely, kudos to you,
the
man.
best is when S-Class says, oh no, I missed it, and then he doesn't even know I'm there. Everybody thinks it's about to be a goal, and then I just swoop it out, put it to the corner, and keep going. I mean, I'm still in the play.
Absolutely, man. And just to dig into a bit more of your mindset, you said game 1 knocked you guys a bit off your pedestal. Understandably so. It was really well fought there by Three Musketeers. What's the mindset reset after that? What is the team comms like? Are we all kind of fuming a little bit? Are we staying silent? We're locking in? Or are we more so reviewing battle strategy, saying, hey, man, just one game, we'll get right back into it? What's the comms like? What's the mentality like after taking a bit of a hard loss game one?
Yeah, no, it's definitely it's game one of a best of 7. I mean, there's a lot of games. Anything can happen. So we lose one game. All right, that's okay. I mean, I'll quote S-Class here. S-Class literally said, just means we get to play more Rocket League. I mean, and that's probably the best phrase we could have used for that, because, I mean, that's just what happened afterwards. It's just, we figured it out, started playing our game.
I really like that mentality. And, hey, we get to commentate more Rocket League, so thanks for that. And also, just really, again, thanks for the amazing play. Great job to you.
So, Solo, going forward, you guys do know your next opponent, if I'm reading this bracket correctly, but I believe it is 100x Panda, it looks like.
Yes.
Ooh. Yeah. So give me the thoughts. Yeah. I mean, you'll still get your shout-outs, but give me the thoughts directly about 100x Panda and how you're approaching the game.
They're interesting, man. They were really good early on in the season, and it seemed like they were struggling a little bit as the season went on. But they were still making some key wins that they needed to. I haven't really figured this team out yet. It's definitely a team I need to look at, because they were part of Group B, and Group B was just wild this season. It seemed like everybody who won against everybody also lost against everybody. So it's just trying to figure it out. We played one of their players, Fabs, last season in the playoffs. They were 100x Cafe Con Leche, so we know about Fabs. We know what he can do. So like I said, I got to review the tape and really get locked in for this game.
I'm sure you guys will. You always do. I can only imagine the... Do you guys like the warehouse rave party analogy, or do you like the mafia crime farm family analogy?
Oh my gosh.
Choose your fighter. Is there a preference? Because I've got both lore that I can swap to.
Anthony.
We need to figure this out for professional purposes.
Not only should we figure this out, but we need to combine the two.
Disco rave mafia boss family. Okay, we can make that happen.
Yeah,
figure it out.
I can work with that lore. The further you get, the deeper the story gets. That's the deal. That's the deal I'll make you.
It's crazy. We'll keep you on your toes too.
Heard that, and of course, any shout outs you want to make before we?
Yeah. So shout out number 1, Anthony's girlfriend, for letting us play this, and Anthony to cast it. Appreciate it. She gets the number 1.
After that, so hyped about that.
But it means a lot. You two casting, shout out to you guys. You guys are always a lot of fun. I always enjoy the drive to work in the morning, because I get to just listen to this and
awesome.
Just get excited. And then, shout out to family, friends, everybody watching, everybody cheering for us. We got to keep going in playoffs. And we're hoping to take the chip this year and hopefully be 2-timers.
Hey, we'll see how far you get. I know I'll be waiting at the end for the finals of Riptide, so be fun to see all of that there, but you've got crazy competition to get through. So good luck in your next matchup, Solo, and congratulations. Enjoy this one. Thanks for talking with us, of course.
Nice work,
Appreciate you. All right, moving Deelo and I back into the studio booth, if it'll let me drag him. There we go. It let me drag you finally. We're cooking. And it took him right back. How is it going to take Deelo back away from me?
Oh,
there you go.
Hello?
It stole you away from me, Deelo.
My apologies.
But we are back in. Always great to talk with Solo. I know chat loves him. I know we love him. I know he's huge in RLSS. And it was an exciting one, Deelo. So, here's your chance. Your final thoughts from the exciting game tonight and your Rocket League return.
I mean, coming back into it, these are teams that I've seen before, but also teams that we had some pre-standing recognitions of, that Three Musketeers were battling from behind. And I always appreciate it. Like you said, Cinderella stories happen for a reason. They had the first act down. Maybe just got to wait for Cinderella 2 to come out, the remake, the live-action edition that Disney always puts out. It's never good in the Disney edition, but hey, maybe they'll prove us wrong this time around. Hopefully Three Musketeers is going to take some notes, because if you can take 3-0, one game off of that, you can repeat that magic once again. You don't need an S-class wizard to make magic happen. So hopefully Three Musketeers going to come back at this with another fire in their bellies, because I enjoyed watching them play, and of course enjoyed watching those clutch saves from Solonalo. So thank them for the amazing games, but also thank you all watching. Appreciate your time.
I know darn well S-Class Wizards taking that quote to the bank. That is a good one. But he'll, maybe he'll take it S-Class Wizard, make a match happen. We'll see. But that will do it for us tonight. Of course, shout out to the RLSS sponsors. Look out for those jerseys, to the MVPs. Riptide Finals will be on this channel. I'm AnythonyMalum. Everything I do in panels. Deelo is on the Deelo. Want to find him on Twitter and all the casting stuff that he does. Thank you for joining me. Thanks to RLSS. Thank you for watching. Have a great night and be safe. And GG's to both teams. We'll see you guys next time.